Do you feel trapped in a cycle of addiction, searching for an escape, but not knowing where to start? In this video, we'll uncover timeless wisdom from the legendary Miyamoto Musashi to help you break free from the grip of porn addiction and regain control of your life. It's time to transform your habits, reclaim your focus, and start living your best life. Step 1. Acknowledge the issue. To get over an addiction, the first and most important thing you need to do is admit that you have a problem. Miyamoto Musashi taught that it is important to face the truth, even if it makes you feel bad. He thought that before a fighter could learn the art of war, they had to know themselves, including their flaws. Similarly, the first step to getting over a porn problem is to realize that it is holding you back. Not being afraid to face the problem is not being weak. It's being brave. Denying the truth only makes the pain last longer and gets you stuck in a circle of shame and self-doubt. When you admit you have a problem, you can make changes and move toward improving yourself. Imagine taking on a task, like a warrior would take on a fight, knowing that it gives them a chance to show how strong and tough they are. Think about how this problem has changed different parts of your life, like your relationships, work, sense of self-worth, and even how you feel about being close to someone. Understand that it's a problem, not because you're bad, but because you are human. Musashi's ideas teach us that half the fight is won when we understand the enemy. The enemy here is not just the habit, but also the pain or unhappiness that the habit is trying to mask. Being honest about the problem is the first brave thing you can do to make your life better. Take advantage of this clear moment as a changing point. Know that this is not an easy battle you are facing alone. Many people have been through it and made it to freedom. Take a deep breath. Admit that porn has had an effect on you, and get ready for the trip that lies ahead. After you accept this, you are ready to move on to the next part of your change. Step 2. Identify triggers and avoid them. Miyamoto Musashi said it was important to know your surroundings and be aware of possible dangers. Being aware of what was going on around them could mean the difference between life and death for warriors. In the fight against porn addiction, it's just as important to know what sets you off. Things, feelings, or even thoughts that make you want to do the habit are called triggers. Finding these cues is the most important thing you can do to control your urges. Give yourself some time to think about why you watch pornography. Is it because you're bored, stressed, lonely, or looking for a treat after a long day? Take notes on the patterns you see. The next step is to avoid or deal with these causes once you know what they are. For instance, if you give in to temptation most late at night when you're by yourself, make reading, relaxing, or doing a creative hobby a part of your new sleep routine. In this way, you break the old habit loop and do something good instead. Musashi taught that a fighter should always be alert and ready to change based on the situation. Additionally, being aware of the times and reasons you desire to engage in porn can help you take action. You could use technology to your advantage by downloading apps that block adult content or limit your access when you're likely to be hacked. Staying away from triggers doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means being aware of them and picking better ways to deal with them. Like a skilled fighter who knows what the enemy is going to do next, you should know what your weaknesses are and plan around them. This mindful method will help you become stronger and lessen the pull of temptation over time. Don't forget that this process takes time. You can't just use grit to fight your triggers. You have to learn how to avoid them and pick a different path every time they show up. Over time, your triggers will lose their power over you, and you'll be able to keep your thoughts and behaviors more in check. Step 3. Replace unhealthy habits. Musashi thought that a fighter should not only get rid of bad habits, but also pick up better ones. When you stop a bad habit like porn addiction, you feel empty. It's important to fill that empty space with good, helpful things. This change in direction will help you not only stay sober, but also create a life that you enjoy and find meaningful. Think about things you've always wanted to do or hobbies you haven't done in a while. It's possible that you've wanted to start working out, play an instrument again, or learn a new language. Instead of the short-term pleasure that porn gives you, these things can become your new source of happiness and success. Musashi's theory says that when you start a new hobby or work toward a long-term goal, you train your mind to think about progress and growth. One example is that starting an exercise practice can help your mental focus as well as your physical health. This kind of physical discipline can help you develop the mental control you need to stop doing things that are addicting. Also, doing physical things like working out releases endorphins, which make you feel better and fight worry or nervousness that could make you want to watch porn. As a healthy way to deal with your feelings, creative activities like drawing, writing, or playing music can also help you express yourself. Musashi said that true success comes from working hard and practicing regularly. Just like samurai practice swordsmanship to get better, you need to keep practicing new habits to get rid of the old ones. The more time you spend on these new things, the less time you'll have for the old bad habits. Remember that it takes time to break a habit. You don't have to be perfect at first. You just need to make small changes over time. You are getting closer to living your best life every day that you pick a new habit over an old one. Over time, these new hobbies will turn into real sources of happiness for you. Step 4. Strengthen relationships. Miyamoto Musashi taught fighters how important it is to be loyal and connected. In the same way, getting help from other people can be very helpful as you try to beat your problem. Getting closer to your friends, family, and loved ones can hold you accountable and tell you that you're not the only one going through this. One common effect of porn addiction is feeling alone, because the habit takes the place of real relationships with other people. You can fill this void with important exchanges that bring you long-lasting happiness and satisfaction if you work to rebuild and care for your relationships. Connect with people who make you feel good and help you. This could mean joining a community group, calling up friends on a regular basis, or spending important time with family. Tell someone you trust what's going on with you. It can be easier to handle your journey if you talk about it with a close friend or a guide. Musashi had many teachers over the course of his life and believed in the power of a guide. You can stay on track and remember your promise to change with the help of a guide or an accountability partner. Just like samurai depend on their fellow soldiers in battle. Making and keeping these links will tell you that you are valuable and loved even when you are not using drugs. At times when you feel weak, the love and support you get from other people can make you stronger. Being able to believe in yourself is easier when you know that other people do. You might also want to try to be a positive influence on the people around you. Musashi thought that the best way to lead was to be a good example for others. By making other people's lives better, you strengthen your own resolve to improve yourself. Do things that help other people, like giving or just being there for a friend when they need you. These acts of kindness can be very satisfying and give people a sense of purpose that fills the void that addictive behaviors use to fill. Step 5. Celebrate small victories. In order to stay motivated and make progress in stopping any addiction, it's important to celebrate small wins. Miyamoto Musashi stressed the value of making small, steady progress, knowing that success doesn't happen overnight, but through hard work. No matter how small, each step forward shows how strong and determined you are. Every day, week, or month that you don't do the habit, you should be proud of your progress. Even though these steps may not seem important, they are important steps on your way to taking back control of your life. When you celebrate your wins, you tell yourself that things can change and that your work is making a difference. Make a way to keep track of your progress, like a journal or a calendar where you mark each day you stick to your goal. This picture of your success can really push you to do better. Seeing how far you've come makes it easier to keep going when you feel like giving up or giving in to temptation. Reward yourself for your hard work in ways that fit with your new, better way of life. Buy a book you've been meaning to read. Take yourself out to a nice meal or plan a day trip to a place you love. These benefits are like positive feedback, which makes it more fun to change. Musashi taught us that the way to success is a trip, not a place you get to. It's important to be kind to yourself and understand that mistakes are normal. Instead of dwelling on your mistakes, think about what you've already done well. To be successful in the long run, you need to think about growth over perfection. Keep in mind that every win, no matter how small, gets you one step closer to getting clean and living your best life. Honor your strength and use each milestone as fuel for the next part of your trip. Step 6. Limit screen time. In the time of Miyamoto Musashi, life was simple and focused. There weren't many distractions, and people learned to keep their minds on the job at hand. Screens are a big source of distraction these days, which makes it easier for habits like pornography to take hold. Cutting down on screen time is one of the most important things you can do to take back control of your life and stop being addicted. Make clear rules about how much time you can spend on your computer. Set a daily limit for how much time you will spend online and stick to it. This doesn't mean giving up all internet activities. It just means being aware of how you spend your time. For example, give yourself set times to check social media, watch videos, or browse the internet. Also, don't scroll through material or watch videos without thinking. This could lead to temptation. To help you with this, use technology. Many apps can keep track of how much time you spend in front of a screen and let you know when you're going over your limits. Even if it seems pointless at first, you might want to set up parenting controls or block adult material on your gadgets. These tools can help keep you safe, especially when you feel weak. Musashi's lessons stress how important it is to concentrate and get rid of distractions in order to learn something. When you spend less time in front of a screen, you make more time for things that really make your life better, like reading, relaxing, or being outside. These things can help you get back in touch with yourself and enjoy life again in ways that don't involve a computer. Being aware of what you watch is also part of limiting your computer time. Pick to read things that motivate you, teach you something, or help you reach your goals. Do things that will help you build the life you want instead of spending time in front of a screen. Moving from inactive buying to active life is what we want to do. Remember that you need more than just grit to beat an addiction. You also need to change the things in your life that support the habit. Controlling how much time you spend in front of a screen is a big step toward taking back your life and living with more purpose. Step 7. Develop healthy coping mechanisms. As a teacher, Miyamoto Musashi stressed how important it was to have strong mental and emotional health. A lot of people use pornography as a way to deal with worry, loneliness, or other tough feelings. To get rid of this bad habit, you need to find better ways to deal with problems in your life without looking for ways to escape them. Meditation and being aware of the present moment are two of the best ways to deal with stress. Being mindful helps you notice your thoughts and feelings more clearly and not respond to them right away. When you want to watch porn, stop and take a big breath. Instead of doing something about the pain, let yourself sit with it. This habit can help you develop the mental toughness you need to fight urges over time. Being active is another strong way to deal with stress. Endorphins are chemicals that are released when you exercise. They help to improve your mood and lower your worry or sadness. Physical exercise, like going for a run, lifting weights, or doing yoga, can help you deal with your stress and feelings in a healthy way. Writing in a journal is another method that Musashi might have liked. Writing down your feelings and thoughts can help you deal with them. Figure out what sets you off and look back at your progress. It can also help you see trends in the way you act, which makes it easier to come up with ways to deal with them. Do things that make you feel creative and happy, like writing, playing music, or working on a hobby. These things not only keep you busy, but they also give you a sense of meaning and success. Musashi thought that you should always be improving yourself. By doing these things, you can focus your energy on growth and finding out more about yourself. Remember that the goal is not to hide your feelings, but to find better ways to deal with and share them. To get over an addiction, you can't avoid pain. You have to learn how to face it with strength and grace. You can build the strength to deal with problems and start living your best life by learning good ways to cope.